Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on Nta News 24. We are live in Abuja. I'm Zenret Dingmo. State of the nation. President Tinubu directs security agencies to remain resolute.
For those of them flying flags, if you see a lot of them are kids being pushed to do that. We are following up with those ones that are sponsoring them, those that are pushing them, because the flags were also made. We identified those areas and we're going to take serious action against that.
And protests. Key security operatives re-echo call for dialogue.
We cannot afford to have an experience what we experienced during the last violent EndSARS in 2020. Up till now, many are still in pain.
And Russian embassy dissociates self from display of nation's flag by some demonstrators in Nigeria. House of Representatives dissolves joint committee investigating importation of adulterated petroleum products into Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to remain resolute and stand against any individual or group of persons trying to undermine the sovereignty of the country. This was at an emergency security meeting held at the State House. Musbaat and Wahab reports.
Yes, the service chiefs and other heads of security agencies arrived State House this Monday afternoon, barely 2 weeks after an earlier routine meeting with Mr. President. The President actually suspended the Federal Executive Council meeting slated for this Monday earlier for something that apparently appears more pressing. And the meeting lasted for more than 2 hours behind closed doors with Mr. President and as well as Vice President Kashim Shettima. And after the meeting, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, briefed State House correspondent talking about what transpired behind closed doors, and it was basically to appraise the security situation in the country going by the nationwide protest in town. Another issue that came up prominently was the issue of some Nigerians in parts of the country, particularly in Kano and Kaduna, flying another foreign flag in the country, which these Security Council condemned totally. Let's take a listen to the Chief of Defense Staff.
For those of them flying flags, see a lot of them are kids being pushed to do that. We're following up with those ones that are sponsoring them, those that are pushing them, because the flags were also made. We identified those areas and we're going to take serious action against that. The President is clear on his instructions for us not to accept anyone that wants to disrupt the peace and tranquility of Nigeria. And we are all standing here together to show Nigerians that we're working closely, we're working together in synergy to ensure that there's peace and tranquility in Nigeria. That we have assured Mr. President.
And again, the armed forces and other heads of security agencies also reaffirmed their commitment to democratic rule in the country, as General Christopher Musa told State House correspondents.
Also the issue of coups. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Nigeria is a democratic nation. All security agencies are here to defend democracy and make sure that democracy continues to strive. We will not accept anyone pushing or taking any action, seemingly or for whatever reason, to want to push for any change of government. Democracy is what we stand for. Democracy is what we continue to defend.
And also, the Chief of Defense Staff also affirmed the readiness of the military to be there as a backup in case of any breakdown of law and order by those protesting across the country to support the Nigeria Police Force.
Similarly, key operatives at a joint security meeting have re-echoed calls for dialogue, urging protesters to sheath their swords and use words to build bridges of peace. Najat Tijani reports.
A convergence of information managers from different security agencies highlighting the nationwide protests.
We cannot afford to have an experience what we experienced during the last violent EndSARS in 2020. Up to now, many are still in pain, and we cannot allow such a thing to repeat itself.
Going to do protests, violent or peaceful ones, in the circumstance of our country is not the best way to register our grievances.
We will continue to be a stability force as we seek to bring stability in any area of our country where it is needed. I will encourage those behind this protest, if indeed they have the goodwill and interest of this country, to take the option of dialogue and let us resolve the challenges and let us move forward.
They stress that security will focus on ensuring community-oriented response to emergencies.
Bauchi State Commissioner of Police Awal Musa Mohammed has cautioned people joining the nationwide protest in the state against any attempt that will disrupt the peaceful atmosphere and public order. The Commissioner, in a statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer SP Ahmed Wakili, lamented over the attitude of some hoodlums that took advantage of the protest in Azare town to exhibit various acts of vandalism, destruction and looting of both public and government property. Awal Musa Mohammed, who confirmed that the situation is presently calm within the Bauchi metropolis and other parts of the state, has also directed for deployment of police in all strategic locations. He assures the command commitment to prevent further escalation of any violent attack in the name of protest. And from Bauchi, we head over to Kaduna, where the state government has also declared a 24-hour curfew in Kaduna and Zaria. And we have our correspondent, Muhammad Umar Ajingi, on standby to give us a situation report from Kaduna. Hello, Mohammed. What's the situation of things in Kaduna this morning?
Hello, good morning. The residents of Kaduna State have remained indoors, observing the 24-hour curfew imposed yesterday by the state government, a reaction to the early morning protests that turned violent in the afternoon with the destruction of property, including a healer's vehicles of the Kaduna State Vigilante Service, a car belonging to a journalist, as well as the Zone 6 office of the Castelia that was set ablaze, as well as the Fidelity Bank that was touched. Since yesterday, the security agencies have been going around Kaduna metropolis to ensure strict compliance of this 24-hour curfew, which has made the residents to remain indoors for quite a while since yesterday. The Kaduna State Police Command yesterday says they have successfully arrested about 38 of these hoodlums who have hijacked the protest yesterday in connection with the destruction of one party or the other, and including those that were flying some flags suspected to be Russian or Chinese flag yesterday. The Kano State Police Command also clarified some issues, because yesterday there was a video circulating on the social media of an armor carrier vehicle belonging to the Kaduna State Command Police, suspected to be seized or being hijacked by some of these protesters at Judunwala. The Kaduna State Police Command debunked that rumor that the armor vehicle, the APC, was not hijacked or seized in any way by these protesters. That the police officers, the driver particularly, said use his number 6, his knowledge and wisdom to adopt, let me put it as they put it in the press release, to adopt tactical maneuver and escape with the armor carrier vehicle without infringing any physical hardship or contact to the protesters, and as well as the security agencies these agencies are on top of their game, particularly intensifying security in some of the flashpoint areas where some of these youth usually come out heading to the metropolis to cause violence, particularly the area of Rigasa, some parts of Tudunwada, Bakirwa. The security agencies have intensified surveillance in some of these places. This morning, you can hear some gunshot on the air, trying to scare some of these protesters to send a direct message to them that the security agencies are quite on ground in case of any further breakdown of law and order. It has been calm since yesterday. A number of people are indoors for now in Kaduna State.
Okay, thank you so much, Mohammed. We hope to get more updates subsequently.
Thank you.
Now, peaceful atmosphere is gradually pervading the ancient city of Kano in the aftermath of violent protests which led to the imposition of curfew by the state government. Fatima Sanusi Karai reports that business and other commercial activities are yet to pick up.
The ever-busy Kano city is now a shadow of itself on account of absence of heavy vehicular movement and human activities, largely due to the fragile peace in the state. A visit to the famous vegetable market at Nkaba in the metropolis reveals a sense of urgency, with people hastily stocking up on essentials before the 2 p.m. curfew deadline.
I came out at 8 a.m. and I'll be going back home at 2 p.m. All we want is to get everything back to normal.
For now, the 6-hour window of curfew relaxation from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. offers a glimmer of respite. However, the state government remains vigilant, closely monitoring the security landscape and poised to make further decisions on the curfew as needed. The city holds its breath, waiting for a return to normalcy. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Karai, Nta News.
And from the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, the designated area for protest in Abuja, we have our correspondent, Joseph Otsen, who will bring us up to speed with the situation there. Hello, Joseph. What is the current situation? Are there still signs of protesters in the area?
Okay, yes, I'm at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, the designated place for protesters to converge. I'm actually across the road, a little bit distance from the main gate and the security personnel. I took this position just to establish exactly what is happening here. The reason why we are standing here is because no one is allowed to converge outside the gate. For anybody who wants to protest, he has to move inside the stadium, where that's the designated the stadium. The reason is that they want a free flow of traffic, and as you can see and hear from the sound bite here, that our vehicles are zooming past me from both sides of the road. So for now, there are no protesters outside and also inside the stadium. There are no protesters for now. When we were coming here, too, we passed through the Eagle Square, the Secretariat, Unity Fountain, and so on. And when I was coming to the office earlier, we passed through Area 1, Area 3 junctions. The increased vehicular movement. So people are coming out to do their normal business and so on. So it seems for now everywhere is calm, and business activity gradually the FCT.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph, for that update. Now, the Russian embassy in Nigeria has exonerated itself from the alleged display of the nation's flag by some demonstrators in the country. The embassy, in a statement in Abuja, says the government of the Russian Federation as well as Russian officials are not involved in these activities and do not coordinate them in any way. The statement emphasized that Russia does not interfere in the domestic affairs of foreign states, including Nigeria. The embassy says Russia respects Nigeria's democracy and believes that peaceful demonstrations in conformity with the Nigerian law are a manifestation of democracy. It further declares that the intentions of some protesters to wave Russian flags are personal choices of individuals and they do not reflect any official position or policy of the Russian government on the issue. We'll take a break now. More reports when we return. Please stay with us.
Nigeria, a land of rich culture and diverse voices, where every voice matters. In times of disagreement, let's choose dialogue over discord. Together, we can find solutions through understanding and respect. Let's build a stronger Nigeria, one conversation at a time. Dialogue, not protest. Unity, not division. Nigeria, united in dialogue.
Thanks for staying with us on the news. Now, market survey around Abuja metropolis revealed that prices of some perishable food items have reduced amid the ongoing nationwide protest. Details with Alika Okpanachi Arua on Business News.
Some traders in Abuja markets, especially those selling perishable products, complain of low patronage as they witness fewer activities than usual due to the ongoing nationwide protests. Prices of some perishable food items, ranging from tomatoes, chili pepper, fruits, vegetables, among others, dropped to minimize loss due to low patronage caused by the protest. A 50 kg basket of tomatoes was observed to now sell for between 40,000 and 50,000, as against 80,000 to 100,000 some few weeks ago. 5 kg basket of tomatoes is now sold at 7,000 to 8,000, as against 12,000 and above previously. The traders maintain that they have no choice but to sell off to the few customers available.
Auntie, since morning I never open market. I never hear how much for this market today.
They are coming to buy, but it's not true where we are. We are coming to small, not like before.
But now I will sell the bag of the Irish or bag of the honest a day. But now it reach 3 days or 4 days and not sell it. Yam, we sell one Korea is 100. But one Korea more than. But now we sell 30 or 50 or 25.
If you buy bag of orange, and maybe I'll see sell like 10 inside. If I cast like 20 basket or 25 inside bag, I sell like maybe if market day I sell the bag of day, or if market no day I sell, especially I sell like 10 or 15. Some I sell 5.
It's situation now where everybody find himself now.
They also observed that produce trucks are not bringing goods to the market due to fear of being hijacked. With Business News, Alika Okpanachi Arua.
Now, despite being blessed with oil and gas, Nigeria has for decades remained solely dependent on oil-based petrol, neglecting its enormous gas resources that can power the economy, while the country was using its hard-earned foreign exchange to pay for and subsidize petrol. President Bola Tinubu came on board with the resolve to changing the narrative and deepening gas utilization. Lydia Sampson has details.
Determined to address visible gaps and challenges in the oil and gas sector, President Bola Tinubu took a painful but necessary decision to remove fuel subsidy, which key players have applauded as saving the country from imminent economic collapse. These actions blocked the greed and the profits that smugglers and others made, also blocked where the undue subsidies extended to neighboring countries to the detriment of the Nigerian people, rendering the economy prostrate. Determined to address envisaged difficulties that came with fuel subsidy removal, the president immediately launched compressed natural gas initiative to power transportation economy and bring down cost of transportation and production. This will save over 2 trillion naira a month being used to import petroleum and diesel, as well as free up much needed resources for more investment in healthcare and education. The presidential initiative on compressed natural gas has since hit the ground running.
We've identified 123 conversions workshops. Our goal, if you remember when we launched this last year, was that we should have 100 by the end of this year. But just in the month of July, we've already identified 123.
When this conversion is done, not only transportation of people that will come down by about 50%, but even the cost of food will come down considerably.
Our members are eagerly awaiting for this Laudi project.
We at Bolt, we see this as an opportunity to offer some relief to the people of Nigeria in terms of transportation.
Some commercial motorists are already testifying about the game-changing impact of CNG.
I've been using CNG for 5 months now, and the experience has been wonderful.
I would expect that the government ensures that there is full implementation of the PIA, and full implementation meaning that the market forces will determine the cost of petroleum products.
In addition, the federal government has started the distribution of CNG conversion kits and setting up of conversion centers across the country in conjunction with the private sector. This CNG initiative is projected to reduce transportation costs by approximately 60% and curb inflation.
This is the dream of Mr. President. His consistent statement is that we must make this available to Nigeria, and this dream is becoming true. We'll construct all the model stations across the 6 geopolitical zones. Already work in progress. We are doing 3 LNG stations in Ajakuta. Actual construction work will start in September. Sites have been clearing as we speak now. And the meaning of this is that at the end, the CNG will continue to be easily available to every part of the country.
To express our gratitude to the Chief of Defense Staff and the entire leadership of the Nigerian Armed Forces for this initiative of bringing all the service chiefs together, bring all the security heads together in Port Harcourt here for us to talk about how we can secure our strategic oil and gas assets to enable us get at least between 2 to 2.5 million barrels per day. It's achievable.
Nigeria's once declining oil and gas industry is already experiencing a resurgence on the back of the reforms announced in May 2024 by President Bola Tinubu to address the gaps in the petroleum industry. Similarly, the country has increased oil production to 1.61 million barrels per day, and the nation's gas assets are receiving the attention they deserve. Investors are coming back to Nigeria with 2 foreign direct investments signed for over $500 million since then. Industry players are unanimous that the oil and gas industry is on track, and the president's laudable reforms will continue to make Nigeria an oil and gas hub in Africa. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
And from around the Eagle Square in Abuja, one of the flashpoints on the first day of the nationwide protest, our correspondent Ignatius Nko is standing by to give us a situation report. Hello Ignatius, what's the situation this morning?
It's quite calm. I'm standing here in between the Federal Secretariat, Ministry of Sports, Youth and Sports, and then the entrance to the Eagle Square. Well, work has resumed fully here at the Federal Secretariat this morning. When we came this morning, we saw staff going into their offices unhindered, and then we found out there's a park behind us here, in front there. In the last 2 days, that park, there was restriction. People don't go in there. But this morning, that park is almost full. People go in there to park their vehicles. And then commercial motorcycles, vehicles, you can see that as of yesterday, they were not allowed to park in here. But today, they come in here, they bring passengers here freely. And some of them are still standing by, waiting for passengers to carry. So this morning here in the Eagle Square and the Federal Secretariat and its environs, work has resumed fully unhindered. Security has been relaxed. There are still some number of security personnel around, but this is the usual security that used to be around here. So at this morning, at this point in time, work has resumed in earnest here at the Federal Secretariat, and everything is calm.
Okay, thank you so much, Ignatius. We'll get more updates from you subsequently. Now, the House of Representatives has dissolved its joint downstream and midstream committee investigating the importation of adulterated petroleum products into the country. Part of the mandate of the ad hoc committee constituted by the House on the 9th of July 2024 was to investigate the non-availability of crude oil for domestic refineries, the resurgence of fuel queues, and other critical energy security issues. Announcing the dissolution of the committee, House spokesman Akin Rotimi says a new one will be constituted in a bid to guarantee the independence of the investigation. He says integrity, competence, and expertise of lawmakers to be selected will be among